Hey guys, my name is Cidiac and welcome back to another episode of Fool's Town here in Cities Skylines. Guys, we're doing something pretty exciting today. Last episode we kind of demolished the old farm in town and the old Bedford Park town that was kind of near the airport, and we went for a huge highway expansion which has opened up the map and the area and the city for new neighborhoods and districts in future episodes to come. Today, we're going to finally focus on building our brand new farm. I got a good location for it. We got quite a few stuff we need to do to get it set up and get infrastructure out to where we want it. So we got to do, kind of mess around with the highway system, get a couple of 6-lane roads in, and eventually get a pretty good up and running farm area in Fool's Town. We've learned a lot from our mistakes in the past, and this is the area where we're going to dedicate our farm. Now, it's not going to have this whole area. I want to eventually use this area to kind of build and expand into other stuff, but I kind of want to focus it. If you kind of take a look at it, it's on levels. It's like up here, level at the bottom. I want to use this corner bottom section here to be our brand new farm area, which means many things. One, it's out the way, so we're going to hook it up to the highway system somehow. Now the highway connections down here are quite far away, but there's a highway that runs here, so we can try and do something to bridge it over. Try and get these 6-lane roads hooked up in some way, shape or form. There's also a connection there I could potentially use if I kind of made it go underground. There's lots of things we need to do. Now before we get into it and figure out how we want the roads leading up to it to look like and where we want them to be, why don't we first focus on building the farm, then we build everything else around it. So I thought to myself, if you kind of look back or look at general areas maybe around you, and this kind of is quite heavy for me because I'm from the UK, it's a very old country, you'll notice that some roads and highways kind of bend around and kind of swirl, which kind of seem like when you're looking at the map, you're going, why is it going all the way around there to get to that point? One is going a straight line. And then you think, oh yeah, because there's a farm there. And when they originally built that road, the farmer owned the land. He didn't want to sell the land, so the government just built a road around his farm. And that's kind of what we're going to do today. We're going to build the farm and then build the roads around it. That's kind of, the thought process behind it. So what I'll do first, then, we're going to zone this area here to be our industry area. We're not too sure how big we want it. So what I'll do, I'll kind of paint a general large size of it. And then when we figure out what we don't need, we'll unzone. This is just so I can place the buildings wherever I want them to be. Beautiful. So let's focus on the roads then. So we got it all set up here then. So we kind of want to do it like how we did the quarry and the forestry. We almost creating a semi-loop around to how we want things to be. And we're going to take advantage of the train tracks running here to be our little export section too. So what we'll do is we'll have a 6-lane road. We'll do it with trees and stuff to kind of run up a side of it. Now if I kind of create, and I have to kind of do this quite smart now. If we create a straight road there, and then another straight road here, and I'm going to create a curvature bend on those roads now. So where does it snap? It snaps here. But where will it decide? Right, is that good enough? There we go. That's going to be a nice little curve there. So we're going to build the whole farm off this. So think of it as being the export area is going to run along here somewhere. Now the slope is too steep, as you can now see. So we're going to have to kind of flatten it out slightly. But we're going to base it off this. And this kind of area here is where we're going to have the kind of production buildings all at the bottom. We might have some storage at the top. And then all down here is where we're going to have like the farmyard. Is that the right word I'm trying to say? Maybe. I don't know. So we'll kind of level it off here. Oh, we've gone too far there. So I'm going to up my brush size. We'll use the smoothing tool to kind of sort it all out in just a moment. So there we go. Try and get the same level there. And then we'll kind of mimic it into one. So we'll use the soften tool here. Oh, no, that's the wrong tool. Well, that went bad. Can I undo? There we go. Use the soften tool here. Now, I feel like we've created such a sharp mountain, but it's quite cool to see the train tracks run alongside of it, which is pretty damn dope. So again, flatten it all out. Most importantly at the top too. There we go. It's going to be beautiful, guys. So let's originally get what I wanted in them, which is a export area. And how that's going to work is the train track, as you can see there, is going to come up here alongside. It's going to be a lot higher than all this, and then run across the mountain, and it eventually filter back down here, which is going to be pretty damn sweet, if you ask me. Now, we might play around with it, because this road could be too long, but we shall see. So, we're going to create then some designated 4-lane roads. There we go. To where we want them to be. So, this is going to be the production area. So, we'll have a road. We'll have a straight road going up to there. So that's going to be production area. This is going to be the storage, and then we have the processing area. That's what I'm trying to say. Storage up here, and then filtering all the way down there. We have all the processing kind of fields and whatnot. So continue to just go up, and we'll see how dramatic that is. So it's not too dramatic of a incline, but we'll bring it up a tad bit more. There we go. And then we'll filter a road. So if I do a, because I want to try and get this on the lip of this area. So if I did a road like that, and then I don't really want to connect it like that, but I want to create a bend. Right, are we not doing bends today, guys? There we go. Sweet. Nice little bend there. And then we'll make this road just stick out a tad. Because I'm thinking about this highway connection too. That's also, I'm thinking about this the whole time I'm doing this. So that kind of filters there, which is good. These are going to be the main roads. And then off these, we're going to use industry roads. We might use a few little dirt roads where the fields are going to be, where we grow the crops and keep the animals captive before we slaughter them. It's not nice to say that, but that's literally what we're going to be doing. So let's sort this out then. So we enter coming down here. So pretty much we'll drive up this side and then turn in to when we need some form of storage. So we'll create our first one there. Our second one there. And our third one just there. These are going to be the storage places here. And we'll do kind of one just here. No, we kind of place this just at the end there, just to give it, you know, more of a reason to be used. Sweet. And we place them on the, what we do is we place them on this side, so as it comes up, it doesn't stop or slow down the traffic. That's how we're going to use that kind of area there. And then for the import and export area now, we'll create a road. Now, I don't want to cut in there, or I could make it come off it. But really, they're going to come up this side. So we've got to think about how they filter into this area too. So we'll create the junction coming off this here. So we'll bring this out to there. And then we'll create... Alright, keeping this in a grid format. It's going to look a little bit weird. Don't worry too much just yet. We're going to create our little grid format now. So we do one there and one there. And that filters down from this traffic road here. And then this road here, which will eventually get it to bend round. Now we will update these and change them to like one-way roads when we need them to. But we're going to filter in the traffic there and out this way for this area. But we still want to get a few more roads in place. So bring that out to there. Bring that down by, let's bring it out by 2. And then I don't want to create too many junctions, so we're going to get rid of some. There we go. Again, I'm not trying to create too many junctions. So then at the very end here, we bring this up. And we create that nice bend out again. You can kind of see where this is now going. There we go. 2 filters there to get out of here. It's going to be pretty sweet, this area. So bring that down. Hook that in. Expand it out a little bit. And we'll create 1 cut through there. And then 1 final one there. And that's our whole kind of production area, well, processing, when we turn the stuff that we've kind of created from the fields and the farms into sellable items. So we want to now upgrade these rows to be a one-way. Make sure it's all going the right way. And that's what's going to make the vehicles only come into this way, into this area, and out that way, which brings us down to here. So we also want to update this to be a one-way system. So we kind of don't need, well, we didn't really need to have this type of road in. It's big, but it's big enough to handle traffic if there is a lot of traffic in this area. But again, it's one of those things. We got to see it happen first. So let's start then with, we'll first break it down into industry roads, then we'll break it down into dirt roads where we want them. So there's a storage you're going to have, which the storage is going to come back down here and then filter in perfectly fine. We'll first start then with the end of this road. So the end of this road pretty much goes up and then pretty much goes down and of course goes across. Now off them roads we use our dirt roads. So we'll start up here and we'll do a 2 across, 2 across. So we're kind of creating crosses off the crosses, as you can see. But off these we go in many different directions. There we go. Same thing here. So 2 across, 2 down, 2 up. Now we could create the little H that we've created over there. I'm not sure how it's going to work on the other side because we're very, very close. But you know what? We'll connect it because we're smart like that. We could create like the little... Oh, that actually, you know what? This would actually look pretty cool. Just create a nice little pattern. Again, just be careful how we do this. So 2 up, 2 down, and there we go. Our little farming area. The infrastructure is pretty much down. We've got it. So the only thing we kind of semi-missing now is the area to what you kind of class where the workers are. And we'll have this area up here, and it's going to be all industrial. So we'll bring we're kind of at the top here. So we'll bring this road up to here, and then can we create almost like a square loop? Now it's on a hill, it's going to be a little bit funky, but let's see how it plays down there. So farming then, we're going to start with our main farming building, which we'll have up here. We'll have the workers' barracks right now. And there is quite a few of these we need to kind of get in. So why don't we just drop a couple more roads down. So 1 there. 1 there. So the farmer barracks have 1 there, 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 there. Kind of wiggling it all around. There's quite a few in. We'll have the maintenance building in 2, which we'll place next to the... we'll have 2 of them in, next to the main building. And that's that kind of ends there. So all the workers can overlook on a glorious morning all of the crops. Oh, look at the water here. Dear God, great Scott. terrible, isn't it? Look at the jams we've got going down here. Oh, this is the jams because we've got the water overflowing. I'm about to say, why have we got jams there? Probably do something like this. If I kind of like chose to make the trench. I've had a few people say this. Make the trench here deeper. So the water kind of falls into it. I don't know how smart that is. But if the water falls down into it, there's more gap there to stop it overflowing. But will it cause more overflow in the future? I don't know. It's just one of those things. We'll kind of see what it does to it, but I don't know. I've seen a few people say that anyway. So that's down there. It needs water and power, of course it does. But we won't get the rest in until we got all the other stuff in. Okay, let's look at creating some production fields then. So we have two types. One that produces crops. Again, all produces crops. Even though it says fruit field, it's still crops at the end of the day. And the one that produces animal products, which is meat and stuff like that. So let's start with the fruit fields then. And we'll have the fruit at the bottom. So one there, one there, one there, one there. Try and space out these large ones. So the slope is too steep, so that's when we revert to a smaller version of it. To wherever it can be squeezed in. And let's get some smaller fruit fields down here. Again, try not to compact them too much, because that's when traffic issues get caused. We'll get a couple of crop fields in now. Now, how do these handle the high slopes? Not great. Not great, but we'll try our best. We can get smaller versions in as always. And we need to make sure we get the animal products in too. So a couple of fields in there. I'm going to delete some of these. So I'm going to use these for the animal products, because there's quite a lot of fields we've got in general for crops now. So animal pastures. Squeeze them in where possible. So wherever I can't squeeze the large ones in, that's when we'll focus on getting the smaller ones in. Some nice little areas up here we can squeeze them in. So smaller ones. And there's a few little gaps over here too, wherever I can get them in. Now, how does that look visually? It looks pretty cool. Again, the main in and out section is these roads here, which we've tried to keep as free as possible, so the traffic can semi-flow a little bit easier. You see where the water now is, well, not issues, but you can see where the water needs are now taking place. So let's try and get these covered as reasonable as possible. You're not going to like my pipe work right now. It's going to give you some OCD issues. There we go. Nice little spiral. Cut it through the middle. And then let's connect it down here. Alright, so they're going to have water. So next then is storage buildings we'll focus on next. We can store the goods. So there's two types. We have silos for grains. And we have large barns as well. Now, you can't really store... You can't really store meat products in these, which is interesting. So what do you get the most storage from? 500,000 versus 600,000 versus... Yeah, so it's obvious. We're going to use these big silos here. So do one there at the end of each road, because this is where the majority of the traffic is going to be taking place as well. So we have them there. Oh, I'm spinning, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons here. Up at each end, and we'll see how the storage goes Right, they need power. So because it's a farm, one thing we can take advantage of is wind power. So even though these don't semi-need power, it's all about aesthetics and, you know, good wind power. Let's just drop one last one there. So they can start spinning to produce a little bit of power for these guys. We need some power set up down here. So something as simple as this. Running power grids up to that storage, and we're pretty much just left with buildings. So the issue down here is there's not enough natural resources. And again, you got to think that this road is not connected to anything just yet. So now let's just quickly sort the water needs out for this area. There we go. So power needs will get filled eventually. Let me just get all these buildings in. So we have two types of buildings. There's a flour mill to produce flour, a cattle shed to produce meat, milking parlour to produce meat, slaughterhouse to produce meat. So only one building produces flour, which is the flour mill. So let's use this in the general areas. So bam, bam, bam. Get a couple of kind of flour mills down. And then we'll go for the big boy slaughterhouse. The one that does, well, the one that, basically the one that produces the most, which is this. Is it a slaughterhouse? Yeah, it is called a slaughterhouse. Now it is quite a big building. So I'll squeeze this in where possible. Oh, I don't really want it there. Let's delete these, and we can, because that's such a big building, we can filter these into other spots. There we go. And then the flour mill, because of how tiny it is, we can filter in other places. Now, I'm not sure if I want it to go on the exit area, so we'll kind of leave it to that. And we'll see if that's too much eventually. But that's now all connected up via power anyway. So good. Good stuff. I am very, very impressed with how it looks already. So what we'll do right now then is just trim back the district. Because it's using too much of the district. Well, the district is not needed all the way over there. There we go. Just trim it back slightly. So it's called the anchor plantation, which is kind of funny because, like, if you think about it, it's producing, like, there is like a milking thing there. Can produce milk, which milk is used to make butter. And I'm not sure if it's worldwide, but there's a butter in the UK called Anchor, which is kind of funny. So we need to then create or set up the ability to have this farm connected to the highway system, and then eventually filter it into those roads down there. So I'm thinking the best thing to do to begin with is delete this road, because we're going to redo it to kind of wind down into that. This road here will kind of filter up there to wind down into this. And then I don't know what we can do with that underground road, filter into something else. Maybe that's for a future project. But I also want it to connect up here, so I'm going to kind of pause it, because I've got actually a really cool idea for this. Now, I want to delete the road there. Right, all that's going. Now, the reason I'm kind of aiming it at this angle is so I can see this go down. So I kind of want it to go like that for good reason. I've got a really cool design idea, if it will work. But obviously, I can't quite get that to be placed there. So we're going to have to drop it down somewhere that's flat and then use the move it tool. Right, hold on. Let me get it to how it's going to be positioned. Well, it doesn't really matter because I can actually physically move it and rotate it myself while using the move it tool. So I don't want trees to come with me. So we've got everything there. So yeah, perfect. Let's move it. So it's going to be placed round about here. So rotate as much as possible. There we go. Right, what did it bring? Oh, you don't tell me. Hold on. Hold on. No, okay, it didn't bring anything underground. I got worried for a second there, guys. I got worried for a second. So delete that as much as, well, far back as we can. And let's connect these guys up. So if that goes straight to the point where it would be connected there. Right, there we go. And then this. Right, there we go. So how am I connected to here, I hear you ask? Well, we're going to get these roads to come up, then bend, and then go over, and then filter into a connection or a joint here. Which could mean that we have to do our famous roundabouts in this area. Now, do I go for a... Yeah, I'm going to go for a big one. Who am I kidding? I'm going to go... Should I go for a big one or a small one? I'm going for a big one. Of course I am. Right. There we go. So, delete, delete, delete. We'll connect those guys back up in just a moment. But, essentially, what I want to do is have these bend round. So, this is going to be quite weird to now set up. So let's think about it this way. If I ramped... Got these, yeah. So I'm trying to page it up. Why won't it page up? Am I on the wrong thing? Yeah. So if I ramped it to there and made it go across, I'm thinking at what point... Alright, if I go out to this point here... Or have I got to be a lot higher? Okay, if I go to that angle. So what is stopping it from being... So if we kind of click it onto that one and go the two across. And then go up by 2 there. Where does that fall in terms of it? At a good height. Okay. Right, we are still going to be playing around with this, don't worry. So bring it back down by 2. Right. And then by 4. So again, space is already occupied. But we can get it to there. Okay, they're the 2 lines running parallel. We'll then eventually delete this and then filter them into it. We just need to somehow get this road now bending round. So we'll use the little bendy tool here. If we go down, we'll go up by 10. Create a, go across by 12. So do the same on this side. So up by 10, across by 12. Try and mimic it both sides. So where it snaps, and then down by 12. Ooh, what is that then? So it is across by 10. By 12. But it doesn't know just yet that it will be connecting here. So that ramps up there. And that ramps up there. This is actually quite a cool turn. I've got to play around with the heights and whatnot to get it perfect. But it's actually quite a cool little turn now, isn't it? That it's kind of made it into. We'll use the movie tool to kind of filter that and sort that out anyway. And we're going to flip these around again at some point. But now we got it to a level that we want. delete these, and then we create our connection off this. So bringing it down, or at this point we should actually use this tool here to create a ledge for us. Because that's what would happen in real life. Like, you know, they will kind of like landscape the area just to get the what you want it to do. So this going round, and we're going to filter in. Which is actually weird because now, because we've flipped them around obviously the opposite ways, it's going to be connected here a bit weirdly, but that's fine. So we'll have a connection come off there. And have a connection come off there. And it's literally all about getting this now to simply connect up. Too easy. Too freaking easy. Oh my god. So that then... So if I delete these ledges now, because it's kind of made it over here. And then that filters in there, which that will then filter out there. Now, I can see this creating traffic issues. I can see this creating traffic issues. So we kind of need to think about this now, don't we? So what if I deleted that and then... Right, I got an idea. That bent around, but this bridges up. And how far back can I have a good delete? And that is an ugly connection. Creates a nice little spiral. Which is actually pretty dope. So let me make sure this is all pointing the right direction. It's not pointing the right direction here. So we got to flip that whole bridge there. And obviously because this will be treated as a roundabout, we could then have a little 2-lane coming off. And maybe filter this around and down. And then what we could say to this is, if you're coming off this way, you get filtered directly that way. And when you're coming off these, obviously that lane takes that route. That lane then takes that route. Just to filter them a little bit easier. It's pretty cool, isn't it? And we just got to connect these. There's not going to be a lot of traffic using these, obviously, for obvious reasons. It's the farm area. But eventually when we connect up to other roads, you just never know. I'm going to go for the 2-lane highway. Oh, this is... No, actually no. I can actually go for this kind of one. Because that is just one solid connection out of here. This is the one that we kind of have to look at. So we'll go for the 2-way connection. I like how the tree's dead in the middle. And then make sure there's no turn there. So that's connected very funkily. I like it. I'm just going to use the move it tool now to sort out the levels. So bring it down to a reasonable level. There we go. It's more natural. We've created like a small figure of 8 there, which is actually really cool. So what's left to do now then is actually physically connect this up. So I'll run this now down. That connected yet? And then we have to do something here too now, which will probably make it pop back out underground here. And get it connected, which is a solid connection. So they're all connected there, and currently they're only connected by this highway. So I can actually put it into play mode and things will happen. But of course, we want another connection some way, shape or form. So we'll get this where's it snap? Snaps to there. And we'll get it to run up there. And obviously that will eventually be used at various other things. And then we're going to want probably a road connection here then. So if I bring it off this and then build that out. That like that, and then connection like that, but obviously not like that, if that makes sense. Because we're going to put a bend on it. There, and delete this. And then just create the perfect connection. Making sure you can't do that turn. There. Yes, I understand. It's a very weird, but it's definitely very unique. Now we could have some garbage issues over here, so we'll drop like a small recycling plant down here. So I'll kind of place it there. We'll give them a little firehouse and some policing in this area to kind of satisfy the needs and whatnot. Hooked up with their very low export area. All we're pretty much now doing is waiting for the trucks to come in. We got 2 new roads that can now kind of bend up, which kind of also open up this area for future expansions, which look pretty good. I do have the painting tool as well, so I don't know if we would ever want to paint anything. Like there's gravel, which we could probably get away with some gravel in certain areas, like where we have the cattle. Which is pretty cool to get in. Nice little square there. We'll add one up here too. Just adds that little extra detail to this area. For the farm. I suppose we could kind of like filter it out like that into various spots. It actually looks quite cool when you do it like that. As if the gravel slightly spill. But no, it's all part of it. And then we'll kind of do this area up here because it's oof. Oof, that was a big area. Does that one? Yeah, that one does the opposite. It gets kind of rid of it. So, still waiting for some vehicles to arrive. They might take some time. Can I get rid of a few little spots there? We have ruins. What does ruins look like? Yeah, maybe. Right, anyway, yeah, there's now vehicles approaching. Which these vehicles would have solely come off. Why did they all stop there? There's a cougar walking around. I think they all came off the... must have had like an export come through. Oh, there's now vehicles making the turn. Yeah, boy! How cool is this? They're now using our inverted intersection, which is pretty cool. So the only reason why you come up here and gonna go round is because you come down this way. You come down here, go round, and then bend round. Anybody using this road? Yeah, there is somebody actually coming up who's gonna use that. It's quite cool to see. I've noticed something as well. People coming off like down here, if they want to get down into this area, they're gonna take this turning and go down into here, which might free up a few little areas. We're flooding again down here. I don't know if that's to take like an effect from what happened with the maneuvering we did with the ground level under the river. Don't know. But it's going to take a while for this plantation, this brand new farm area to get up and running. Currently losing 7,000. But yeah. Because of how slow the game is, you've got to wait to simulate for a while. And eventually once you get all the trucks and stuff into these areas, get the goods to where they need to go. Should be all Gucci, mate. Should be all Gucci. So there's just little things you need to kind of take care of, is getting rid of traffic lights so there's no hold-ups. Hold up. The traffic lights here. Yeah, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Is there any down here? Yeah, get rid of them. Should be no traffic lights in these areas. Should be no traffic lights here. Right, should be all good. Oh, there's some there. Get rid of them. So they're taking them to the storage, of course. They always do that. And then they eventually take them to the various production areas. Some buildings are now have lost their little symbol above them, which shows that they're now, it's something slowly starting to happen. But eventually, this is going to be a beautiful area. A beautiful area. So got so many trains that are going to be chugging past. So it'll be interesting to see how much money we are making from this in the next episode. So we do have a little bit of industry, which we could probably squeeze around this area somewhere. Not too much, just a little bit, to kind of satisfy those needs, but the little filter roads are perfect. I'm very impressed with this. I don't know why, I'm just very, very impressed. I think it's quite cool. See how that goes. Again, the river, it just floods. And the flood passes, and then it floods somewhere else. It's awkward, guys. It's very awkward. I try and figure it out. Try and see what's going down, what the issue is. But Foolstown has now got a farm. It's losing 10,000. So at some point, it will start producing money. We're just going to wait for all the brand new trucks to get in this area, which they are approaching. They're slowly getting here. It is quite a far way, from anything in the town. So it will take a while to get that stuff in. But I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. If you did, then smash that like button down below. And if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.